So, a pretty interesting development. I wasn't quite aware of this, but Google has been adding a terminal app to Android 16. So, whenever Graphene OS is able to figure out how to get Android 16 up and going, whether that be on like the current Pixels or the Pixel 10s that are coming out soon, the terminal app basically bypasses the need for having to get a third party one, and it still runs the VM on the phone, very similar to a lot of the terminal apps you're going to get. But now they've recently added the ability to run graphical applications on there as well. So a full desktop from a VM on your phone. This makes it easier to work with some devices like the Pixel Fold and some of the others, or even just to connect a separate display up to a monitor, hook a separate display up to your device and run full desktop apps on there. So much like Chrome OS has gotten a lot of the Linux features, it seems to be coming to Android as well. So hopefully this actually hits AOSP as well. So Android Canary build that Google released today, the terminal app now lets you run graphical Linux apps. Earlier this year, we ran a Linux port of Doom in Android's terminal app. Probably Chocolate Doom is what it looks like, but we'll get there. Showcase the app's upcoming graphical capabilities. For months, Google's been working to add hardware acceleration support and a full graphical environment to the Linux terminal, but the company never pushed these features to any public builds, requiring us to compile Android from source to try them out. After installing the July 2025 Canary build, however, we notice that the terminal app has been updated with graphical app support. When you open up the terminal app in this build, you'll see a new button in the top right corner. This button launches the display activity of the terminal app, which forwards graphical output from the Linux VM to the Android host. So you can see this is the terminal app, what it looks like. It's got tabs. You've got the display up in the corner here, hidden by the watermark, attribution. Once on the screen, so it shows up as a TTY from what I've seen in the video, but yeah. You type Weston. A lot of you probably already know what Weston is. For display, it's not Xorg, but it's still something that displays, and it's decently lightweight. And you can see from the screenshots here that it's got a terminal that you can run. It's got the terminal link up in the panel here. And then you've got the gedit that you can run as well. It's got a goofy cursor. So they've run Freedom in here, which is basically the one you're going to run from the get-go. So we hit the display thing. We get our TTY. We type in our Weston. Now, because it's based on Debian, that should mean that we would have the ability to install other display managers or other compositors on as well. So it looks like they're working on Wayland as the main one to go with. So, yeah. Again, it looks like it's Chocolate Doom. So that is something to keep in mind, is it runs Doom, and we know that it's a pretty good implementation if it can run Doom, obviously. So you do have to do some other configuration to get it to work, like creating an empty file called vir.gl renderer and having it in the SD card Linux directory. It'll give you a toast, and then if you've done it correctly, and then you can run the display and get Weston up and running. So the addition of graphical app support in the Linux terminal is a big deal. It opens the door to running many useful Linux programs that aren't available on Android. It opens the door to running PC games in the future, though more work will need to be done to make them compatible, especially since most Android devices have ARM CPUs. Regardless, that's a big step forward in Google's plans to combine Chrome OS and Android into a single platform, so we're excited to see how things proceed. Although this feature is enabled in the latest Canary build, we don't know when it'll land in the beta or stable channels. We're hoping that Google will roll it out in the second quarterly release of Android 16, which is scheduled to roll out in December. However, there's no guarantee the company will do so. So it I would hope that they would add the ability to run through other distros other than Debian. But Debian is a start, and it's a pretty decent start for running for a distro to pick. But giving the option of other distros to install in the terminal app, I think would make it a lot nicer. So you can have your configuration and also have your rice along with it if you really want it. Oh, the other thing too is, yeah, it's pretty cool. Depending on your distro, you're going to have more or less of the ARM applications available to you. So, I mean, I feel like there are more ARM applications that are ARM builds of applications that are available than they give credit for in this case, because it's like, oh, it's going to be really limited. Yeah, there are some fewer games that are compiled for ARM for Linux, but there are still quite a few that are built for that because, one, the Raspberry Pi and other platforms that run on ARM, and a whole multiplicity of distros that have ARM builds so that you can install those on your ARM systems as well. Whether it's updated for the particular version of ARM is yet to be seen, but I can find a number of games that are already ARM ready for something like this, honestly. If you liked the content, if you enjoyed it, if you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, leave any criticisms you have or what have you. I appreciate it. Feed that algorithm, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.